Hi everyone, a very good morning to one and all, and just give me a quick thumbs up if you're able to hear me and see me. Just give me a quick thumbs up so that I can start on time and I'll address a very important issue for you today. The A lot of students they asked me a question in the last few days, and the question was, Sir, whatever I am studying, I am forgetting. Whatever I'm studying, I'm forgetting. Can you help me to remember? So first of all, I want to know from you in the chat box, in the comment box, that tell me how many of you have this problem? How many of you are suffering from the same problem that whatever I study, I'm forgetting? It is normal. It is how the world is. So I want all of you to know that we are all programmed to forget. That whatever goes through our life, we are programmed to forget all of it. This is normal behavior. You understand? So suppose you had a breakup, you don't want to remember it for your entire life. You want to forget about it and move on in life. So, but the exams are exactly opposite to all of this. In the exams, you need to remember things even which you did in your first year of MBBS by the time you appear for your NEET PG exam. So the problem is in remembering. Now, whenever we start remembering or whenever we try to memorize anything, one of the fundamental mistakes that people do is, I'll tell you each one of them step by step. Some people they try only to memorize, not to understand. Now, then what happens is we put ourselves under a tremendous pressure. The pressure is that you want to memorize everything. Now, where is the memory area in your brain? Remember, it is in the hippocampus. But hippocampus is a very small area. It has very limited hard disk space. Okay, I'll just bring an image for you just to make sure that you understand what I'm trying to tell you. So let me just add a image for you. Okay, for the people who are not from the medical background or who are people who are just starting their studies. So let me show you the hippocampus. So this is the size of the hippocampus. It's very small. So whatever you may try to do, you cannot put all your medical knowledge into this small area. You understand? So the problem with this is it works in school. So as we go higher and higher in the classes, so suppose you were in class fourth or fifth, the syllabus is this much. Eighth class, the syllabus is more. 10th class, the syllabus is more. 12th, it is even more. University, medical college, it becomes more. MD, it becomes more. So the syllabus keeps on, the quantum of knowledge that you need to know at a senior level increases. And the hippocampus has only limited amount of space. So you cannot memorize everything. So how do we deal with all of this? So I'll tell you two, three methods which will work for you for your memorizing along with the method of space repetition. First of all, I want to show to you the true measure of your intelligence. I'll just bring a picture for you which will show you the true measure of your intelligence. I'm taking a Wikipedia image. Just give me a second to show it to you because I have something very interesting and I have a very important belief in this matter. So far, I showed you the size of the hippocampus. Just as a reminder for the children who have just joined in, this is where your memory space is. But the true measure of your intelligence is your interconnections. The brain remember things as interconnections. We don't remember things as it is. We remember things how they are connected to each other. Okay, I'll explain to you. Whenever there is a memory, remember that you remember going to a restaurant, but there is a memory of some food, some people that you went with. All this composite creates the memory. So when we have, and it also creates a lot of subconscious. So let me help you now. Let me help you. And the problem that we are facing is, the problem is this, that whatever we are reading, look at the first curve on the side with the red curve. The whatever we are reading, we tend to forget. Okay, but the principle number one is, if you study anything in an engaged manner, if with a more active learning method, you are more likely to remember it for the long time. For example, whenever I'm trying to try to understand the idea, so whenever I am trying to understand something by interacting, that means there's a question answer session, or you are thinking intelligently, you're presenting, you're filling the blanks, you're doing an active recall, you're building your subconscious. So my suggestion to you is, whenever we build our subconscious, that part will remain longer than my conscious memory. So I would suggest the first two tools for using the material intelligently. One is engage in active learning. What is active learning? The method that I follow in all of my classes and all of my dams teachers, they follow the simple method of pause. What we do is, whenever we are teaching you something, we don't give you the full thing written. We give you a workbook, or we are teaching you actively, you have a blank page. So at that time, the teacher will say, ask you something, pause. During that pause, your prefrontal cortex, your cognitive brain takes over, starts to think, and it forms new interconnections. It forms new interconnections. These interconnections will become your lifelong learning. So the method or the formula number one that I want you to have is engage as much as possible in active learning. Second is how to do a space repetition. After the class is done, you may be doing a dance face-to-face class or a ultimate live class, or you may be attending it on the in a self-learning method in the back to basics. But after you have done the lecture, day one is the most important golden opportunity. You read the material fast, and the only thing I wanted to teach you today is fast. Remember, you have not the radiology wala fast. Day one, you need to read the material fast. Many children do the mistake at this time that you want to do it very perfectly and you're doing it very slow, but you will forget. My suggestion to you is simple. If I do fast reading on that day of my workbook, or if I don't have a workbook, you can use the Cortex AI golden points from the lecture that is there in your app, day one itself. This forms the first layer. If you don't do the day one reading after the lecture, you will tend to forget more. The second thing that I wanted you to have is this, that after the lecture is done, you've done the day one, I need to do active recall. So every day of the week, I want you to now do 50 MCQs of the topic that you have studied. Like suppose you read ENT in the dance class. Now you will do ENT every day, 50 questions, trying to actively recall that what you've learned. Now those interconnections are trying to form again. Try to understand. You read a question, you're thinking. During that thinking process, your interconnections in the brain are trying to find recap from your memory area, think, reconnect the dots and get to the answer. That again will strengthen your recall. But then the most important day after this is the seventh day. On the seventh day, I want you to give your class test on your app. Now what will happen is, giving the class test itself will force your brain to recall. At the end of the class test, you will have a video solution, the written solutions. You will use all of that to do active recall of the material once more. So try to understand. The keywords are 0 day, active learning, day one, read the notes again. Rest of the days, active recall with MCQ methodology. Day 7, test, recall. So 0, 1, 7, you're recalling again. So what is happening is, if you touch the same material again and again, you are more likely to retain it longer rather than doing it once. But now there is another window which is at the 30 days. At the 30 days, yeah, I want you to give the grand test. Even if you're a final year intern, post intern, you have to give a grand test at the 30th day interval. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why? Because you will forget what you did at 1 week if I don't do it at 30 days. So at 30 days, whatever subjects you have read in that month, suppose इस महीने में डैम्स में you've done ENT, dermatology and maybe part of medicine, those workbooks you will revise and give the GT. In the GT, the parts of the questions from these topics you will revise them again, because through active recall, through thinking in the exam, cognitive brain development, and you will keep it in mind for longer time. But then after 30 days, there will be another window. So every month, different subjects you will revise, but through the GT, you will be appearing for all subjects. So for example, next month, you may not revise ENT, but ENT will come in your grand test again. So that will take care of the 60th day and 90th day. And then I want you to remember that after you do the syllabus once, you need to do active recall of your material again. That is the time where you will use the SWT and your bookmarked MCQs. So that means whenever we are doing questions from your DQB, you will bookmark. In the end, you will revise the bookmarked MCQs and SWT, which is the subject-wise test given in your online test series. Side by side, we also need to plan to revise the high yield material in the end. So in the end, you need to revise the most high yield from every subject in the last week, last month. And the purpose of that high yield is that to feel more confident. You have developed your subconscious already. So ये वो बता रहा हूँ because a lot of people say, sir, I'm getting FOMO of the main notes. So the purpose of the final revision is not to do everything again. It is to touch the high yield of every subject again in the final week, so that you are more strong, more confident. And in that, I would suggest use the DVT as your final week material. So in the final 2 months, you can use live rapid revision. Final week, you can use DVT. And last day, you will use your wrong diary to see your mistakes once more, so that you feel more confident on the day of the exam. Okay. So let me explain to you the methodology that I have given to you, and then I'll take your queries also, and I'll tell you a lot of things. But my suggestions are for different stages of students who are listening to me right now. If you are beginning, begin by concept building, and the best method of concept building is a live class, or a app live, or a face to face, where you're interacting. There has to be something left to be learned. It should not be all filled up, because first reading, if it is all filled up, you will not understand. You need a fill in the blanks model. That is what we follow in the dance classroom. Once you get the understanding, day one you read it fast, day seven you give a class test. 1 to 7 days you do 50 MCQs from that topic, active recall. Day 30th you give a grand test after revising that month subjects. Day 60 you give the grand test without revising those first month subject. You will now revise only the second month subjects. Day 90 again grand test. After you finish the syllabus, SWT bookmark questions, and grand test frequency will increase. And in the end, you will use only LRR and DVT to get the confidence that you've done the entire subject again. You've done the space repetition. Okay. So I hope that answers the question that many of you were asking. I will just quickly show you this slide once more for the students who are, beginning. This is the sequence of your going through the material. Most important mistake that many people do is they start from DVT rather than starting from active learning. You have to use the more time that you have with active learning and go on to the lower learning phase later on. You have to trust your subconscious more than your hippocampus. Hippocampus is a more small area and the memory is limited. You have to play with it. So memorizing with space repetition, using the method of wrong diary, so that whatever you're forgetting is there, whatever you're making a mistake is there in the last day. High yield material you see in the last week with the DVT, so that you feel more confident and you do a good exam when you come back. So I'll take a few queries as well. I have a query that a bacha is saying, sir, I'm losing focus. I have an exam on 15th of June. Can you motivate me? So, Dr. DC, my suggestion to you is, my motivation to you is, find motivation in your why. Try to understand. Whatever I will say, it will motivate you for a day, a week, but long term, you need your why. You need to tell me in the comment box why you started. What is your purpose of becoming a doctor? Why do you want to study and become a postgraduate? What do you want out of it? Let that why be your driving force. Okay. And I see another query, sir, in this INI-CET CBT, I got 112. Can I still improve to get a seat in INI-CET? So my question to you is, beta, do you want to get a seat or not? You want to get a seat. So अगर भाई suppose नंबर कम आए तो क्या मैं छोड़ दूं क्या? मतलब एक बार मैं हार गया. My only question to you is, एक बार मैं हार गया तो छोड़ दूं क्या? अब नहीं लड़ूं क्या? छोड़ दें क्या वो सारे सपने जो देखे थे? So this entire mindset you need to change in yourself. Every exam that you give is a learning experience. It is not a judgment on your future. Tell yourself, I can still improve. I'll work harder. Now I know my mistakes. And one student is saying, sir, only 26 days are left. Is it possible? We have to stop asking this question. We have to stop seeking guarantees. And the problem is, if I keep saying, sir, is it possible? Is it possible? Is it possible? Then ultimately it will not be possible, because the days will be over. Okay. My only request to you is, let's go all out. Let's go with the belief. Let us get that, that small thing of dabangiyat. You remember from your school days or TV series, dabang. You understand? So that dabangiyat I want from you. Okay, boss, आज जो भी है 25 दिन में गेम बदल दूंगा. कह सकते हैं अपने आप को. Otherwise, you will keep asking. You will keep asking. And I thank you that you enjoyed my radiology lectures. And there is another query that I get from students. Is it possible that there is so much competition and people are getting 190 plus? People are getting, in the real exam, they get around 170, 180, correct? And I agree there is competition. But my question to all of you is, in which field you have no competition? Can you name a field in which there is no competition? The only way to have no competition will be you invent that field, you create that category. But then once you create the category, other people will come. I started India's first NEET PG coaching. Then everybody else would come after that. So you create your category. I understand that, but then somebody else will come. So stop looking at competition. The only competition you have is you yourself. Okay, beta. Only competition you have is you yourself. Find a way to beat this guy inside of you. एक हमारे अंदर एक कोई बैठा है ना जो कह रहा है नहीं हो पाएगा, उसको रोक, क्या हो जाएगा। जितना भी कंपटीशन है वो भी यही सोच रहे हैं, वो सब भी ये सोच रहे हैं कि तुझे कैसे हराएंगे। ओके, एक आई सी अ क्वेरी, सर आई कुड नॉट अटेंड एलआरआर ऑन टाइम। रोहित, इट इज नॉट टू लेट, देयर इज एनफ टाइम। LRR is easily doable in 25-30 days. You can prioritize big subjects and then go on to short subjects. Okay. Sir, please tell me about second reading. After the first reading, what should be my revision strategy? So, Devanshi, my suggestion is, if you have done your first reading of your notes, use LRR live rapid revision videos to go through with the second reading, then DVT multiple times for your third reading. That should be the goal. Use class test in the first reading, SWT in the second reading. Okay, that is for the subject wise. Use monthly grand test in the first reading, 15-day grand test in the second reading, then 7-day grand test, then 3-day grand test. In between, you also appear for your CBTs and the mock tests. Okay, sir, shall we read notes or should we do videos? My suggestion to you is very simple. Try doing your notes. Once you've done the classes, you did the hard work of making the notes, then it's a good idea to, quickly do the notes, because notes can be done faster. You can underline them and you star mark them and do them faster. Video will take time in the final revision phase. LRR are available in your Back to Basics subscription. In your Back to Basics subscription, you will see live rapid revision available in the course itself. And there is annotated notes also available in the course itself to review. Okay. Sir, I got 134 correct in CBT. I have done 42 question mistakes in Patho, PSM, Medicine, Ops, Gynae. How to do? Sharon, my only request to you is, and I want you to acknowledge, ये चारों सब्जेक्ट बेटा आपने जो लिखे हैं, पैथोलॉजी, पीएसएम, मेडिसिन, ऑप्शनली, बड़े सब्जेक्ट हैं. If you have weakness in these areas, I would request live rapid revision notes of these subjects. If you still feel weak in any of these, go to the Cortex AI notes from the Back to Basics. These are the golden points from each lecture, which can be, so without looking at the video, you can just see the golden points and revise. That is one of my suggestions. LRR notes are already filled up. Okay, they are already filled up. LRR notes are already filled up. Okay, I hope I've answered your query. Mansi has asked a question, sir. How do I revise past GT mistakes and forgettable? My request is, for your GT mistakes or your high yield forgettables, create a wrong diary for yourself. I have, and Dr. Deepthi has already given multiple videos saying that for your GT mistakes, if you create a wrong diary, you can keep it at the end and revise it in last 2-3 days. Again, that is always a good idea. Okay. And I see एक बच्चा कह रहा है, sir, analyzing GT takes a lot of time. You analyze your damn GTs using the video solutions given by the teachers. It will take only 2 hours. हीना देखो, अब आप अगर खुद से करोगे तो टाइम लगेगा. मैंने बना के दे दिए. All you need to do is, after your GT, any question that you have done wrong, listen to the video solution by the teacher. That will accelerate the matter and you will know what is it that you are missing out on that particular topic. एक बच्चा पूछा, सर रिवर्स रिवीजन कैसे करते हैं? So Arzu, I explained to you that we are using, when I explained to you the chart of today, that what is the ideal method of preparation. We go theory, then we go test, go back to the mistakes by retrograde. So antigrade, retrograde, antigrade, retrograde. We try to make that combination. While reviewing wrong MCQs, it takes me a lot of time. Sheila Robert, my answer to you is, देखो कभी कभी क्या होता है, आप बहुत ज्यादा करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. When you do a question wrong, sometimes the only thing you need to know is what is asked in the question and why you have done it wrong. But you tend to go to the entire chapter because you see many resources are misguiding by this. That suppose you have a question on treatment of pulmonary artery hypertension and you do it wrong, you only need to know the treatment part. But you don't need to go back and read the entire cardiovascular system from Harrison and come back and say, sir, मेरे 5 दिन हो गए नहीं. वो precise चीज जाननी है. That is why DQB. Although you will say लोग बोलेंगे सर DQB में आंसर छोटे हैं, कहीं बड़े हैं. DQB में आंसर का सिंगल फॉर्मेट रखा है मैंने हमेशा. A is the answer Y, B is not the answer Y, C is not the answer Y, D is not the answer Y. That is enough for you. Okay. And okay, let's take some more query. Let's take some more query. What should be the ideal time between the subject to be repeated? So it depends on your first. If you're starting the journey now, Ritu Kumari, if you're starting the journey now for a 2026 NEET PG, it should be day 1, day 7, day 30. That should be the ideal thing. But if you are now revising, target maybe 25 days, complete subject revision, then another 20 days, then another 15 days. That should be the ideal method of revision at this stage. And I see an interesting query. I have read 10 times, but I'm not able to memorize. Saddam, एक बार understanding करके देखते हैं. Go back to the initial part of my video today. I explained to you that in the postgraduate level, it is not purely about memorizing. It is also about understanding. Because the syllabus is more. And if you remember, I showed you a small picture. This is the size of your hippocampus, the area marked in the red color. Are you able to see this? The area marked in the red color. And can you see the interconnections in the brain? This is the power of your subconscious. So now don't try to remember, try to understand and try to understand it by developing your subconscious by using some skills, some methods. I tell you some methods like Feynman technique. If there is a question that like I see a question कि सर सर्जरी के क्राइटेरिया हमेशा मेरे गलत हो जाते हैं like this. So if there is a topic like this, some criteria that you're getting wrong, read them once, close the book, try explaining to yourself in a video or into the mirror, and try to explain in simple language. You will find that you will not be able to do it for the first time because you've not understood. Then read that part that you did not understand again from your notes, do it again. If you are able to explain simply, it will go into your subconscious and you will always remember. That is called as Feynman technique. So you can use the Feynman technique also. That will also help you. एक बच्चा कह रहा है सर एनी टाइमलाइन फॉर रिवीजन बिफोर इनिसेट नाउ 25 days. माय रिक्वेस्ट टू यू नीतू विल बी कि मिशन आईएनआईसीटी पहले कर लेते हैं, लास्ट हफ्ते में डीबीटी देख लेंगे और प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस आई एम श्योर यू आर ऑलरेडी डूइंग विद अस इन द पीवाईक्यू का पाप. सो आई थिंक दैट शुड टेक केयर ऑफ एवरीथिंग. प्लीज कीप गिविंग मॉक टेस्ट इन बिटवीन. Every week, one at least INI-CET mock you can give if you're targeting the INI-CET paper. So this was the idea behind today's video. I wanted to talk about the methodology of keeping things in mind. पढ़ तो सब रहे, क्या पेपर में याद रह रहा है कि नहीं? What is the scientific basis of it? How do we use? एक बच्चे ने पूछा सर क्या मिशन आईएनआईसीटी डीवीटी टुगेदर कर सकते हैं? बट पहला प्रायोरिटी अभी मिशन आईएनआईसीटी को देके लास्ट में डीवीटी कर लेना दोबारा, क्योंकि मिशन आईएनआईसीटी स्पेसिफिकली टेलर्ड फॉर इनिसेट पेपर, स्पेसिफिकली उसको प्रायोरिटाइज कर लेते हैं. लेकिन अगर कर चुके हैं तो फिर क्योंकि बहुत सारे बच्चे कर भी चुके होते हैं तो देन यू कैन यूज डीबीटी आल्सो साइड बाय साइड. ओके. So the entire idea is remember and understand and give value to the amount of the material that you have is tremendous in medical science. You cannot use the school methodology. स्कूल का एक आपने इंस्टाग्राम पे ट्रेंडिंग वीडियो देखा होगा जो एक टीचर पढ़ा रहा है, बार बार एक ही चीज को चैंट करे जा रहा है. वो लेकिन एक ही चीज होगी ना, यहाँ तो लाखों चीजें हैं. You can't do that school methodology in medical college. Medical college is about understanding. So step number 1 is active method of learning. Step number 2 is active recall using the MCQs. Testing yourself as periodic times and looking at the mistakes in the retrograde manner as 7 days, 30 days. Then periodic testing, reaching back to find your weak zones. Then revising high yield in the end to get the confidence. जैसे INI-CET से पहले मिशन INI-CET, NEET PG से पहले DVT. Testing yourself in the exam method again and again to expose your gaps. Believing in yourself that whatever I may be doing, I want to give the best exam of my life. Today I leave you with a thought. What do I want as a teacher from you? As a teacher, only thing I want from you is you come back from the exam and tell me, सर मैंने मेरा जिंदगी का बेस्ट एग्जाम कर दिया, अब आए या ना आए मुझे कोई रिग्रेट नहीं है. Can you promise me this in the chat box that you will come back and say I did my best in the exam. Now if I get the result, I don't get the result, it doesn't matter, I have no regrets. So I want you to come back to me with this. Please give me in the comment box with a promise today. I will come back with no regrets. I will come back with no regrets. I may win the exam, I may lose the exam, but I will always win in life, sir. I will always win in life. And recently, I was on my social media profile. A student sent me a message, sir. सर मैं आज प्रोफेसर बन चुका हूँ, आज भी आपकी बात याद करता हूँ. It makes me very proud. So you win or you don't win is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that after the exam, you come back and tell me, I did the best exam of my life. I did my exam, my NEET PG went much better than my CBT, my GT. उन सबसे बेहतरीन मैंने किया, अपना बेस्ट एग्जाम करके आया हूँ और वापस आके मेरे पास कोई रिग्रेट नहीं है. Whatever will happen is all happens according to the bigger plan. हम सबसे बड़ा कोई और है जो हमारे लिए कुछ सोच के बैठता है, अच्छा ही सोचा होगा, मेरे लिए कुछ अच्छा होना ही होगा. तो I am not bothered about the outcome. As a teacher, I respect your effort. I respect, and that is one of the reasons you will see that in DAMS, I always tell everyone can be the topper. Everyone can win in life. Even if you fail an exam, you can win in life. So I always want you to remember this one line. You are going to come back and say no regrets. On this note, I wish you all the best. Keep rocking. Keep enjoying the Transform series. I'll come back again tomorrow with Dr. Deepthi at 10 a.m. in the morning on the YouTube channel. Today, Dr. Deepthi had a lecture, so I'm doing it alone. I wish you all the best, Peter.
Cortex AI, new groundbreaking feature on DAMS eMedico's app. Vision of our founders to bring meaningful impact in medical education by the doctors for the doctors. AI bringing automatic timestamps for easy navigation in the Back to Basics lectures. Click on Cortex AI icon to automatic lecture summaries and key points. AI predictive test on each lecture. AI-generated performance guidance reports for DAMS QBank and test series, making you an AI-driven superpower.